Why a Dockerfile and not a container file? ¿Por qué un Dockerfile y no un container file? Well, like many tools in DevOps, the configuration file for OCI image builds started with a single vendor. Bueno, como muchas herramientas en DevOps, el archivo de configuración para construir imágenes OCI comenzó con un solo proveedor. In a container world, Docker often gets the praise, and it is well known to be the founders of the modern container movement around 2013. En el mundo de los contenedores, Docker suele recibir el crédito y es conocido por ser el fundador del movimiento moderno de contenedores, cerca de 2013. Because of this, the OCI container image config file got widely known as a Dockerfile. Debido a esto, el archivo de configuración de imágenes OCI se hizo ampliamente conocido como Dockerfile. However, as you see on this slide, around 2019, the container file name got so popular and is more vendor-neutral alternative to the name Dockerfile. Sin embargo, como ven en esta diapositiva cerca de 2019, el nombre Containerfile se volvió popular y es una alternativa más neutral al nombre Dockerfile. Here are three popular OCI image builders, Docker, Podman, and Builda, but there are many more options. I just want to keep it simple. Aquí hay tres constructores. Aquí hay tres constructores de imágenes OCI populares, Docker, Podman y Builda, pero hay muchas más opciones. Solo quiero mantenerlo simple. Pero no es preocupen mucho por los nombres, no importa. Un Containerfile y un Dockerfile son sintácticamente idénticos. While Containerfile will make you sound a bit more trendy, they execute and do the exact same thing. Build OCI images. Aunque un Containerfile de hará sonar un poco más moderno, ejecutan y hacen exactamente lo mismo. Construir imágenes OCI. To help this idea sink in, I'll be using the word Containerfile throughout this video, but just know they're the same. Para que se les queda la idea, usaré la palabra Containerfile en este video, pero sepan que son lo mismo. So what does a container file look like? Entonces, ¿cómo se ve un container file? Here are three examples. One with pseudocode, one that is really simple, not great, and one that is more production grade. Entonces, ¿cómo se ve un Containerfile? Aquí hay tres ejemplos. Uno con pseudocode, uno muy simple, no tan bueno, y uno que es de nivel de producción. At the core of a container file, you have from, run, copy, and cmd. En el núcleo de un container file, tienes from, run, copy, cmd. The from gets a base image. You want this to be tiny to limit the attack surface. El from obtina una imagen base, quieres que se diminuta para limitar la superficie de ataque. In high security environments, you use a strictly hardened base image. This means it has no extra software, no shell, giving attackers nothing to use. En entornos de alta seguridad, usas una imagen base estrictamente fortificada. Esto significa que no tienes software extra ni un shell. Dejarla sin dejarla nada a los atacantes para usar. The run sets up the environment, installs dependencies, and executes other commands. El run configura el entorno, instala dependencias y ejecuta en otros comandos. The copy command works similarly to the Linux copy command. El comando copy funciona de manera similar al comando cp de Linux, and the command instruction specifies the default command that is executed when a container starts. Y la instrucción command especifica el comando por defecto que es ejecuta cuando el contenedor inicia. Now make sure your image is secure. Ahora, asegúrense de que su imagen sea segura. This container file is the equivalent of group policy for a container or hardening of a Linux VM. Este container file es el equivalente a una política de group para un contenedor o el endurecimiento de una VM de Linux. Cybersecurity does not stop at a hardened container, but it certainly helps. Think about defense in depth. La cybersecurity no termina en un contenedor endurecido, pero ciertamente ayuda. Piensen en el concepto de defensa en profundidad. Follow these 4 steps, and you should be off to a good start. Sigue estos 4 consejos y deberías tener un buen comienzo. 1. Never run the process as the root user. Always define a non-privileged application user. 1. Nunca ejecuten su proceso como usuario root. Siempre definan un usuario de aplicación sin privilegios. 2. Always use trusted sources. Look for the green check and always tag your image with a version. 2. Siempre usan fuentes confiables, usan el check verde. Y siempre y siempre etiqueten su imagen con una versión. 3. Never copy secrets into your container. Be very careful with your copy command. 3. Nunca copien secretos en su contenedor. Digan mucho cuidado con su comando copy. And 4. Separate your container file into multi-stage builds. The final build should only have a few files. Y 4. Cipran su container file en multi-stage builds. La construcción final solo debe tener unos pocos archivos. So we're both in the same directory for both shells. This one has our container file. Okay, scratch that. That was a terrible start. Okay, we'll show two terminals. One is going to have the container file, and the other is going to have the Python application. So let's look at the container file first. Less on the container file, we have stage 1. This is two-stage build, like we talked about, multiple stages, so that our final stage doesn't have all the extra software and build times and all that extra stuff. We want to take that out in the second stage. So in the first stage, we'll go ahead and use a base image, and we'll use a slim version. We're going to tag it with this version. So we've tagged the image. We've used a very small base image. We're going to set our working directory. So at build time, it's going to go over to an app directory. That's what we're going to set the working directory to be. Then we're going to run this command, group add app group. We're going to add a user to a group called app group. And then we're going to copy our Python app and requirements txt into the container. So we copy it from our local machine into the container. And we can see right here that we have this Python app. And if we cd into Python, we have two files. So in this directory, we have two files, 1 and 2. We're going to take both of these and we're going to copy them into our container. Then we're going to run Python with a virtual environment. We'll set the environment path similar to if you're a Python developer, you set up a virtual environment. You go ahead and set your path for that. And then you pip install. What do you pip install? Your requirements txt. And how does the container know that this requirements txt is there? Because we've just copied it. We just copied this into the container. And then we go ahead and use this chown command to make sure that when we copy it, we're not copying as root and we're not going to run into file permission issues. We've told it, hey, use the app user that we made up here. We made this app user. Go ahead and use him to copy these files over. And so now we move to stage 2, where we're going to set our environmental path again and switch our user to app user. Remember, it's a different stage, so we still have to set up some environment configurations here. And then we'll just go ahead and run our application. And that's this command right here that actually executes the application. And this final bit are just some labels that is a good practice to get into when you're building Docker containers. It's going to make you feel more professional and ready for a production environment. This helps a ton with versioning and documentation and other things like that. So there's our Docker container, or excuse me, our container file. See, we say them back and forth, container file, Docker file, they're the same thing. So let's go ahead and run this container file here. So we'll go ahead and do a podman ps just to check to see if anything's running first. And then let's go ahead and see what images we have. At the moment, we don't have any images. So let's go ahead and build our container image with our container file. And we can do that with this one command here, podman build. And we'll go ahead and give it a tag. Let's call this wholesome cyber. And then let's also give it a version, right? So this is our This is going to be the name of our container or our container image, and then we'll go ahead and give it this version. Now we can actually give it 2 tags if we wanted to. We could say wholesome cyber coolio and call that version 2, right? So now we're going to do a podman build, and we'll create two tags of the same image. So that's really important that this is still going to create one image with 2 tags, but the image hash will be the exact same. And let's look at this in action, right? And then the dot is saying, hey, look in this current directory, look in this example app directory to build that image. And so here we go, step 1 of 4. We're grabbing this image. And notice how there's no images here. We're actually going to see this image in a second. This is going to appear and be populated or kind of be put into our local images file. Okay, and I'm back. So a couple things. We had an apostrophe at the end of it, as you saw in that last file if you go back in the video. And then you'll also notice that I pasted the wrong version in. So we actually created 3 container images, but they were all incorrect. And so because those images didn't have the right version for the GUnicorn application, that they still created the image. It just didn't give it a repository in the proper tagging. And so we finally did it. We had a successful run here, and these 3 are kind of duds. We can really remove those later on. They're just bad images. But we have these 2 that have successfully run. And remember, when we ran that command just now, we said wholesome cyber version 1 and version 2. But this is the really cool part. You'll see that these image IDs are exactly the same. Look, the same number. These 2 are the exact same. So it's the same image, just different tags. And that's really useful when you get into DevOps and pipeline work. You might have different tags using the same image. That's okay. This can get really kind of nuanced in the advanced weeds of, like, we might tag something with prod and dev, but we want the image to be the same. Certain things like that, and the list goes on. The last thing that I do want to show you is, notice how it says repository here, and it says localhost. We don't want localhost. No localhost. We typically always want a repository. And so maybe you are running a Harbor instance. Harbor is a container registry. We'll talk more about that in future videos. But let's just say my awesome Harbor container my awesome Harbor dot container dot registry dot io. I don't know, maybe that's some crazy domain, and then we'll say wholesome cyber v1, and for instance we'll just use this tag. Let's actually call it v3, and here we go. We'll build it again. Notice how fast that was. Super fast. And then we go podman images one more time, our podman images, and now we see that we actually have this registry. And the important thing is, now if I do a podman push, which again we'll talk more about this in future videos, but if I want to push this image to a remote repository or a remote container registry, and I do this, let me give it v3, you'll notice that it tries getting image source signatures, trying to reuse this blob, pinging container registry, my awesome Harbor container registry.io. We get this get request dial TCP. So we can't reach it because it's not a real domain. But had it been a real domain, we would have been able to, and we'll explore that in future videos. That's all for this demo. So we've looked at kind of tagging an image, what a good container file looks like. I'll leave the demo there, and as we get more into pipelining and understanding Docker and OCI, more of these kind of puzzle pieces will start to fit together. Okay, and I'll leave you with this question. What is a container scratch image? When we put from scratch as the base image, what do we mean by that? ¿Qué es una imagen contenedor de scratch? Thank you for watching. Keep building, and please keep correcting me. Sigan construyendo y por favor sigan construyéndome. Soy Señor Whale. Let's expand the network.